At the same time, I think we should be very gracious in victory, but it should empower us, empower people at the same time to be firm in saying, no, look, we're not going to do the men can be women thing here. We're not going to be abortion is their right to choose. I'm against it personally, but they can do it. No, sorry, we're not doing that here. That's
Agreed.
not the church's position. This is why. But
And that doesn't
you're
make you a
still
Nazi.
welcome here. Yes, we
Just don't want to kill me.
Oh my God, there's so much to unpack here. Where do you guys want to start? First of all, who are these two? This is one of the biggest Mormon podcasts out there. It's called Thoughtful Faith. And the man on the right, his name is Jacob Hansen. He indoctrinates Mormon youth. This episode here that we're watching is the day after the Trump election. It's their reaction to the election. And this is the reaction that I am seeing across the board on all social medias, which is, woohoo, the men are now in charge of everything. That is what the Trump win means to conservative men. The patriarchy is back. They need some type of a theme song. In fact, I'd love to hear from you guys what you think would be a good patriarchy theme song. The first thought that comes to mind while watching this video is this. These men do not understand what the American Constitution means. Religious people tend to really lean into the whole freedom of religion thing while ignoring a separation of church and state and the anti-establishment clause. So this whole entire conversation around, yeah, nobody can do being trans anymore, and they, who's the they? Women, us. We are our uteruses, our wombs. We are the they in this conversation. And they can't kill babies anymore because the church says so. Because they all think that Donald Trump's Christian nation has just been born. That is not the way the Constitution works. But it's about to be, sounds like. So first of all, West 4Bs and all the stuff. Ladies, we can no longer engage in schmecks with anybody unless our birth control is absolutely bulletproof and we are able to provide for a child from cradle to grave completely by ourselves, because that's what 90% of women are doing right now anyway. You know, the only way to survive the patriarchy is just step out of it. Now I'd like to read some thoughts that I wrote partially in response to these Mormon boys and their Mormon prophet and teachings, and basically all of the Trumpsters and Christian nationalist patriarchal men in general. Here we go. What would happen if the church boys grew up and started worrying less about what we women did with our reproductive parts and more about what they did with theirs? What if instead of marching in picket lines in front of abortion centers, the Baptists marched outside NFL locker rooms chanting, "God commands safe schmecks. Every woman is a precious child of God. Y'all are causing abortions," and demanding mandatory vasectomies? What if instead of bishops talking to young women about skirt lengths and bikini tops, they lectured the boys about she is so much more than boobs and a butt. Keep your mind out of the gutter and respect her. What if YouTube was full of Christian men shaming other Christian men for watching and buying corn instead of slut-shaming women like a school teacher in our district who had an OnlyFans page? What if the prophets and holy men preached that the greatest sin of all was to abandon a single mom and marched on Washington to support mandatory universal child support for life? What if? What if the religious moms trapped in the patriarchy themselves told their daughters that they had value outside their ability to have babies and keep a husband interested, that the only authority they needed to obey was their own intuition? It would change the world. And I know this firsthand because I am that mom. And the daughters I have freed from the power of the priesthood are strong and wild and full of joy. They lean into all the aspects of their humanity, not just their uteruses, and they are thriving. Here's a picture of my daughters. I keep this right here on my desk next to my laptop and all of my tripods, because every day when I wake up and fight against the patriarchy, it is for them. In fact, that is the modern feminist movement slogan, for our daughters. Thanks for watching. I'd love to hear your comments.